go ahead and get started. So this week you guys have been hopefully working on your EverFi, which takes you through what we call personal financial literacy. It's all about teaching you how to manage your own money. A lot of times we call it real world economics because it goes through things like keeping up with a budget for college, buying insurance, looking out for scams, checking your credit score, using credit, and not accumulating too much debt. So that's kind of the topics you guys should have been looking at this week. So we're going to do a little bit of a review here. And like I said, what I need you guys to do is as we start, I'm going to pause. There is kind of a slight delay. So I'm going to give you guys time to look at the questions and then type in what you want me to put for the answers. And we'll kind of do this together and see how it goes. All right. First question. How many months of expenses should be set aside for an emergency fund? So an emergency fund. So everybody should have money set aside in case of emergencies. So about how many months worth of money should you set aside for an emergency? What is the standard there? And if you want to use A, B, C, and D, I think I know what you mean. Or you could type in the color, or you could type in the answers. 1 to 3 months, Brandon says. So Cliffy, 3 to 6 months. Uh-oh. So we've got a discrepancy there. So if we went with 3, it's got maybe a little unfair. So 3 is typically the months there. So I think you guys are on the right track, but it's 3 to 6 months. So you want to be more than 3 or more months worth of income. Now remember, you want to base that on your income and your expenses. So you want to make sure you've got enough money set aside to cover 3 or more months worth of bills. So it's really about your expenses. So keep that in mind because I think that's a question coming up soon. All right, next question. Which of the following is not a characteristic of money used as savings, including emergency funds? So money has certain characteristics. Which one of these would not be a good characteristic of money used if we wanted to save money? So Brandon says liquidity or liquid, which means you can easily turn it into cash. Liquid. All right, let's see what we got. All right, so with that question, if it's in an emergency fund, think about it. You want to be able to get to that money quickly. So you would want to be able to cash that money out and use it to pay bills. So liquid has to do with how fast you can cash that money out. If it's tied up in like an investment, it's a little harder to cash it out. Like if you bought real estate and you had a lot of properties, well, if you needed cash, you would have to take the time to sell those houses and sell those properties before you actually got the money. So in an emergency fund, you want that money to be easily accessible. You want to be able to cash it out and use it to pay for the emergency. So that was a not question. That might have thrown you off. But let's move on to the next one. What is debt? This should be pretty easy. Red, money you have borrowed and need to pay back. Let's see. You are correct. Very good. All right, next question. What is an emergency fund? So we've mentioned an emergency fund. Hey, Leah, welcome to the party. So you're going to chat in, type in the chat box what you think the answer is, and we're going to go through this together. So what is an emergency fund? We got blue, blue, blue. Let's see. Correct. A savings account set aside for unexpected expenses. Getting our power up. So if you want to use a power up, let me know. All right, question 5. What is meant by money being liquid? We actually mentioned this before. So maybe let's see if Leah knows. What do we mean by liquid money? We got blue, blue, blue. So I'm assuming you mean the first one. This is more of a teal color. So let's go. Any other ones? There might be more than one. Just blue. Let's see. Oh, we missed one. It's stored in the form, so electronic money. So you could either have it in cash, like literal paper, coins, that type of liquid, or it could be in a checking account, savings account, electronically. You can easily use that. So physical referred to the paper. So if you got stacks of bills somewhere, that's liquid money. But also if you got a checking account and you can use your debit card. All right, moving on to the next question. What is meant by money being accessible? Select all that applies. So it might be more than one answer here. Accessible. If your money is accessible. I see red, I see yellow, I see red and yellow. So let's check that out. Very good, very good. Money that you can quickly and easily get to. All right, insurance. So as you guys get older, when you get your first car, you're going to be thinking about buying insurance. Insurance is actually required when you get a car. So think about, what is insurance? Why do people buy insurance? Whether it's homeowners insurance, car insurance, life insurance. I see yellow, yellow, see yellow. Like I said, I'm working with a little delay here, so if I don't respond quickly, that's because of the delay. All right, so I see yellow. Let's move on. Very good. So you purchase it to protect your assets. If something happens, an accident, the insurance company will pay to cover that accident, whether it's health insurance, life insurance, etc. All right, if we're trying to fund an expense that's 2 years away, so we're going to buy something 2 years from now, and we're going to put money away for that purchase 2 years from now. Are we going to save that money or invest that money? So what's the difference between saving and investing? So I see save, save. Brandon, what do you think? Or I see we've got maybe another person in here. So make sure you let me know you're here. Saving or investing? If we're going to spend this money in 2 years, are we going to save it? Or are we going to invest it? And then I'll talk about the difference there. Brandon says saving is putting money away. Investing is putting it in something like stocks. That is correct. So think about it. If you did EverFi, they should have gone over a little bit about stocks. So when I invest my money in a stock, am I going to cash that out in 2 years? or am I going to stay invested in that stock for a longer period of time? And then savings would be something shorter, a short period of time. So the answer, if it's less than 3 years and you're going to need it in 2 years, you want to save it. Think about what might happen to that investment. If you put your money in stocks, there's no guarantee that you're going to make money off of that stock, right? You could actually, I saw that, Leah. Don't change your wrong answer. Reattempt the question you got wrong. But yeah, so when you invest money, you want to hold on to that investment for more than 3 to 5 years. Over time, an investment will grow in value, but in the short period, it might actually drop. Think about the stock market. How in the past 2 or 3 months, the stock market has crashed, right, in just a few months. So there's no guarantee that in a couple of years, you're going to make much money off of that stock. So you want to hang on to that investment for a while. All right, next question. What is meant by money being liquid? So I went over this earlier. A and C. So let's go A and C. Is this a repeat question? It might be. Very good. Let's use a power up. What do we got down here? Immunity. What is a budget? Next question. What is a budget? The government has a budget. You could have a personal budget. So what do we mean by budgeting? A financial plan that defines expenses for a period of time. We're all in agreement. Very good. Correct. All right, an emergency fund. Let's see if you remember this one. What is it mostly based on? Is it based on investing for college, monthly expenses, monthly income, retirement planning? I see B, C, B. All right, so the idea, an emergency, and Leah, you weren't here when we first talked about this, so you might have missed this. So think about an emergency fund. You want to have money set aside in case of an emergency. So in a way, it is based on income, but even more importantly, it's probably based on expenses, right? Because the idea is, well, if I lose my job, I'm going to have to pay my bills, right? So think about people who've lost their job during the pandemic. It's not about how much money you can make, really. It's about, I just have to survive. I have to pay those bills off. So those are your expenses. So your emergency fund's got to cover your bills, like your rent, your car payment, electricity, things like that. All right, next question. What type of account allows for tax advantage savings and investing for college? Some of you might already have one of these. I know I've got one for each of my kids. It's a tax advantage savings and investing account for college. What do you think? Is it a 529 college savings plan? It's just a savings account in a large bank, a checking account, a 401k account with your employer. Which one of those is an investment for college that gives you a tax advantage? Brandon thinks it's A. Leah thinks it's B. Another B. So the B's win. So let's go with B and see who's right. We used our immunity, so we get one more chance. So it was A. It's called a 529 plan. 529. And the reason it gives you that tax advantage is because basically money, you can put money in it through your paycheck. When you get a paycheck, you can ask for some of that money to go into the 529 account before they tax your income. So that's the advantage there. If we're trying to fund an expense that's 15 years away, would we want to just save money or invest money? So I see invest and invest. Leah, what do you think? Do we want to invest it or save it? Invest. Good job. You were paying attention. Yeah, so 15 years from now, if you invest some money in stocks or a mutual fund, over time it's probably going to grow. And you keep putting into it, you can make money that way. So when you're investing, you're trying to make that money grow over a long period of time. If you're just going to save it to spend, just throw it in a savings account and you can have quick access to it when you need it. Next question, why shouldn't we invest our emergency fund or other short-term savings? So Leah says, A, investments are risky and can drop in value, especially in the short term. Brandon says A. What do you think, Cliffy Cone? We're all in agreement? Let's see. Very good. Yeah, when you invest it, there's always that risk that it could lose value, especially the stock market. Stock market's very risky. It goes up and down, but over time, you can expect it to grow. So why should we invest instead of saving for retirement? So think about what retirement is. Why are we going to invest for retirement instead of saving for retirement? Leah says A. Investing money can make it grow in the long term. Cliffy says A. You think, Brandon? You in agreement? Let's see. A it is. Very good. Yeah, so think about retirement, especially for you guys, is like 40, 45 years away. So if you start putting money into an investment account like a 401k plan, and you keep putting into it every month, it's going to grow. It's going to compound interest over time. Some people save up millions of dollars in their 401k over those 40, 45 years if you really start investing. Oh, Leah says she wants to use Streak Power. I don't know which one that is. Is it the purple or the orange? Which one's Streak Power? Streak Power. I don't know which one it is. It's not telling me. Orange. All right, we're going for orange. All right, what is required for your money to be safe? C and A. It will grow in value over time. Only you have access to it. Okay, so the idea of your money being safe. How do you know if your money is safe? So Leah says C and A. C and A again. Any objections, Brandon? C and A. Let's see how we did. Oh, yeah, you got to think about it. It doesn't necessarily have to grow to be safe, right? It just has to be, it can't lose value, but it doesn't mean you're going to grow in value, right? So my money can, like, think about it, a safe. I could put it into a safe. It's not going to grow. It's just going to be there. But it's not going to drop in value, right? So your money doesn't have to grow necessarily to be safe. Reattempt a question. Choose wisely. Which one we going with here? 1 or 2? You guys tell me. 2. I see 2. 2 it is. Here we go. So yeah. So what is required for money to be safe? We've already said it doesn't have to gain value. Oh, they mixed them up on us. So we know it's not D. Let's see if there's another one. Tied up in risky investments. That wouldn't work. Only you have access to it. It can easily lose value over time. We don't want that to happen. So just B is what we're going with. Oh, and that's it.